It's not over.
Stop the fight!
No! Default.
Everybody, I come here for everybody. Kill everybody. I'm the champ. I'm the king. Kill everyone. Ah!
All right, what's up, guys? We are back with our Ortega versus Rodriguez full card picks. To review briefly about last week, I'll just say we went 6 for 11 on our picks. It was kind of a tough week to predict. Minus 0.7 units, not bad considering what I've seen most other people are losing. And what's up, dude?
How we doing, my man?
Yeah, I'm excited for this main event. This is a banger of a main event, and let's get into these fights.
Yo.
Okay, for the first fight of the night, we have Jessica Penne versus Emily Ducote. And this one, you know, a lot of these chick fights, they seem to like to start off the card with a 50-50 fight almost every fucking week, it feels like. Or one that just isn't completely dominated by a single fighter. In this one, I like Penne. I think, do you think that maybe just wrestling possibly could help her as a pick for us? That's how I see this.
Yeah, I mean, that's her advantage in this one, so I hope she would want to wrestle there.
Yeah, and sometimes she gets some trips. I mean, she's old, but in a lot of times, chick fights, like, age doesn't mean a ton. Ducote's got some pretty decent striking. I haven't really seen her on the ground from what I've seen of her regional fights. But I'm expecting Penne has a chance to get this into the ground or even tough it on the feet, so I'm just going to take Penne by decision.
Yeah, I like that too. I mean, Ducote has pretty good power from what the couple fights I've watched from her. You can see,
she had a big KO.
Yeah, she fought 3 weeks ago and got a KO in that one. And now she's making her UFC debut. But we'll take also the older chick here. And by decision.
Penne's also got, I'll say really quick, Penne's also got submission skills. But I don't think she's really submitted too many people lately. So yeah, decision's probably the right call.
She won her last by submission. Armbar.
Yeah.
Alright, there you go.
Okay, for our next fight, we have Dwight Grant versus Dustin Stolzfus. And this one, we're kind of seeing a weird matchup. Dwight Grant just got knocked out at 170 and is coming up to 185 for a fight here. And in this one, I think we're just going to lean Stolzfus, but again, there's not a lot to go off of, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, he's the underdog in this one too, Stolzfus is, and I just think he has more paths to victory here. I mean, I think he can take him down and either lay on him for a couple rounds or maybe find a submission.
He's also going to be the more natural middleweight. If Dwight Grant's not the natural middleweight, Stolzfus has a chance to, like you said, be stronger than him, take him down. He's not the biggest middleweight, but if he has that opportunity, he'll take it. I don't see Dwight Grant getting knocked out here. Dustin doesn't have crazy power. He kind of just is that kind of tough guy that will fight through the fight and make it to decision or get choked out by the good jiu-jitsu guys. But I just see Stolzfus decision here.
Yeah, I like that. The underdog in this one too. And Stolzfus by decision.
Okay, for our next fight, we have Dustin Jacoby versus Jung. This is honestly probably one of the ones I'm most excited for in this card. Dustin Jacoby just came off a win against, I think, Michelle Olajczyk.
Yeah.
He's just that kickboxing base, keeps strikes at distance. In that Michelle fight, he didn't really get to use his kicks that much. He was going backwards the whole fight. On the other side, we have Jung, who is kind of that power puncher with a little bit more diverse game. And who do you like coming into this there, guy?
Yeah, I like Jung in this one. He recently knocked, or I shouldn't say recently because it was 7 months ago, but he knocked out Kennedy, who we just saw last week. And they're both on really long win streaks, so it's a tough fight to call. Jung hasn't lost since 2015, and Jacoby, I think, is undefeated in the UFC.
Yeah, Daun, he drew a fight with Sam Alvey, but he beat the fuck out of him in the third round. With how much Jacoby slowed down in his last fight, I have to pick Daun here. Jacoby had me so nervous, and there was definitely a speed advantage for Michelle in that fight, but I think this is just going to be just Dustin in that small cage. Or is this in Jersey, right? I don't know if they're going to be in a big cage
Long
or
Island.
not.
It'll be a big cage, I'm assuming.
Well, then Dustin might have a little bit of that advantage, but he'll be circling the cage the whole time, and Daun should be walking him down. And I think if he gets on that cage, he's going to throw those combinations. He might employ grappling. I don't think he will, but he does have an advantage there as well.
What do you like him by?
I'd say knockout, to be honest. Just the ways that he hits people and the way that Jacoby got tired in the past. I just think he's going to employ that in there. Oh. And he has a really good clinch. Those elbows out of the clinch that he had on Alvey and some on Kennedy, I mean, those are very valuable in wearing down a fighter. So
yeah, Jacoby will want to keep this fight at range. You know, those kickboxers. So, absolutely. What round are you thinking?
I'll say round 2.
Okay, round 2, Jung knockout.
Okay, for our next fight, we have Bill Algeo versus Herbert Burns. In this matchup, I'm feeling just Algeo by decision. And I think I'm going to bet this line because it's going to be probably like plus 180 or something. I think it's just the best value you can get. He's not much of a finisher. And if it goes past that first round, I think Herbert Burns won't win. About Herbert Burns, he has like world-class grappling, but what I've noticed from his Daniel Pineda fight is that when he's on bottom, he really struggles to get out of that position, but from on top, he's very strong. He's also had a lot of time off. That was a year and 10 months ago was the last time he fought. And Bill Algeo's been much more active. He does have some red flags that comes with him, but I think in just where you're going to look at value and winning this fight, I think you're going to see Bill Algeo by decision.
Bill Algeo by decision.
Okay, for our next fight, and another highly anticipated one, prospects in the division, we have Ricky Simone versus Jack Shore. Who do you like, and what do you like about this fight?
This is another tough fight to call. I mean, we're back and forth in this one, but I think we're gonna lean Jack Shore by decision.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility of a knockout, I think, too, but I would be a little surprised if he got it. He did drop Timur Valiev a couple times in the last fight, and Ricky Simone's gotten hurt by fighters once or twice before. But yeah, I think decision's probably the way he goes. In this fight, you know, what I think I could go either way for these picks. I think if it was in a smaller cage, I'd pick Ricky because he likes to come in close with those fast hooks and clinch game that can move into grappling, and he has a really good gas tank. But I think in that bigger cage, Jack can implement footwork a little better, use the kicking game, which can be good for point fighting, really use that length and his size. I know he doesn't have that much of a reach advantage. It's only 1 inch, but I think usually fighters that are taller use their reach better. And I just see Jack here, probably going into a decision. But Ricky's totally live here, and I wouldn't blame anyone for taking him. But yeah, Jack Shore.
Jack Shore by decision.
Okay, for our next fight, we have Soriano versus Dalcha Luigi Buama. No, I've seen Dalcha fight a couple times before, and I've seen Soriano fight plenty of times, and I'm gonna pick Soriano here, and I'm gonna pick him by knockout. I think just the way that Dalcha's gonna fade going into this fight, he he might have a fast first round, then slow down. But Soriano's got a pretty good base. He's got a really good left hand down the pipe, another nice too. And he's knocked out some people before. He's kind of got a little bit of that wrestling base as well, so he can implement that if he needs to as well. Dalcha's just huge for this division. Doesn't have a ton of talent though, and he went with a competitive fight with Maximov. And Dalcha, on the other hand, got subbed by Brunage in a kind of unfortunate event. And I just think that he's going to get outclassed here. So Soriano by KO, I say round 3. Okay, in our next fight, we have Lauren Murphy versus Miesha Tate. In this one, this is another fight. It's kind of like that first one. But we're going to pick Miesha Tate here. Lauren Murphy, it's kind of bizarre she ever got a title shot. She beat Joanne Calderwood to get a title shot.
By split decision, too.
Yeah, and JoJo's not anything special. Lauren's striking is just like throwing hands straight out there somewhere. Miesha's striking isn't great either, but she might have a little bit more power. And she's coming down a weight division. She's probably getting different boobs put in for this one to weigh a little bit lighter. And I think Miesha's going to have the ground advantage as well. Possibly search for an armbar, whatever it is, who knows. Anything from you?
Yeah, I mean, another woman's MMA fight, so it can really go either way.
I don't see Lauren Murphy dominating Miesha Tate, and I see a chance of Miesha Tate dominating Lauren Murphy. So that's just how I see it.
Yeah. Miesha Tate by decision. Is that what we're...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, for our next fight, we have Hurricane Shane Burgos versus Charles Jourdain. I can't not pick Burgos. He's a fan favorite, to me at least, and he always is there to fight. He's going to be in fight of the nights no matter when, where, who he's fighting. I think he's just got a size advantage, cardio advantage, wrestling advantage if it goes there. But yeah, what do you see this as?
Yeah, this might be fight of the night. This is a really close fight, I think, and I don't know. Do you think Hurricane can get a finish here?
It's really hard to say. I'd say if it was, it'd be round 3, but Charles Jourdain, he hasn't been finished much, has he? Darce choke, but I don't know. Shane doesn't really go for submissions, does he? I think he's got many recent submissions.
I don't think so. I was leaning towards decision.
Yeah, a decision sounds good to me. There may be some nervousness in the first round when Jourdain can get his heavy kicks and heavy hands off, but I think Burgos is... People might think he might not have a good chin, but he fights in brawl fights, and whatever happened in that Edson Barbosa fight was kind of weird.
Yeah.
And even with the Qatar KO with the uppercuts, he still didn't go out fully. I mean, he got hurt, but I like his chin. So.
Yeah. Yep. Shane Burgos by decision.
Okay, for our next fight, we have Matt Schnell versus Mudaerji. I'm going to do the unpopular pick here, and I'm going to pick Matt Schnell. I see an obvious path to victory. And I don't think the odds line up here. The value doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I think it's just going to be a submission for Matt Schnell. And Mudaerji's, all of his losses have come by submission. He's really skinny, really thin, but he has great striking, Mudaerji. He's got all these great attributes. But I think Matt Schnell can possibly even drop him and then hop on a submission. And I just think that's the way to go here. Do you see anything different? Or
yeah, Mudaerji, his last 2 losses, which were in 2018, both were by submission, and one was Louis Smolka. And if we're doing MMA math here, Matt Schnell subbed Smolka a year later, so... Yeah.
I guess I've said this about young fighters before, is if they get submitted when they're really young, it doesn't mean a lot because they're still learning MMA and jiu-jitsu stuff, but I still think there's a strength advantage, and Schnell could easily get knocked out. He likes walking into strikes, but he also dropped Brandon Royval in that fight. We kind of forget about, and if he drops Mudaerji, he probably will get on a submission. So
yeah, you like Schnell by submission?
Yeah, let's go. Fuck it, round 1.
Round 1.
Okay, in our next fight, we have JingLiang Li, which is the Leech, versus Muslim Salikhov, the King of Kung Fu. Probably a little bit racist term there for him. But in this fight, I see Salikhov being able to outstrike Li to a decision. I don't know if you see any of that.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he's the better striker. But yeah, Liang probably will not be trying to grapple. So we like Muslim to outstrike him here.
There's a speed advantage, I think, with Salikhov. Also, he's never been knocked out before. Lee does have a ton of power, but he also puts everything into his shots, and he can slow down when he tries to do that. And I think as the fight goes on, it's just going to be more and more clear how Salikhov will win. And you'll probably see a bet from me on Salikhov by decision here. And the Leech also has a massive fucking head. It's going to be pretty hard to knock him out.
Yeah, I think Salikhov will win the decision here.
Okay, for our next matchup, we have Michelle Waterson versus Amanda Lemos. In this one, Lemos is coming in as the huge favorite. I think if this was a 5-round fight, I would trust it a little bit less. But since it's a 3-rounder, I think it totally makes sense why Lemos is such a big favorite. She's got all that first-round power. Michelle Waterson's pretty hittable and also very small for the division. And I just see Lemos probably knocking her out or taking her to a decision.
Yeah, I like by decision here. Waterson hasn't...
She's tough.
I'm looking for... Yeah, I don't see she's been knocked out. She's lost by guillotine. Yeah, Rose was the last person to finish her by rear naked choke. Yeah, so I think Lemos will win the first 2 rounds, and then I could see Waterson winning the third.
Yep, and possibly wrestling used for Michelle Waterson, but like I said, Amanda Lemos is probably a lot bigger coming into this fight. She'll be beefed up, and yeah.
Lemos by decision.
Okay, for the main event, super anticipated fight between Brian Ortega and Yair Rodriguez. I think it's a fight of the year contender right here. As much as I like Yair Rodriguez, he's one of the most entertaining fighters on the roster. Honestly, one of my favorites to watch. I'm just going to go with T-City, though, and I'll explain why. I mean, what do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I could see Yair piecing Ortega up, but Ortega is just so durable. I mean, I think he'll find one way to get a submission here.
Yeah, and there's a chance that he honestly could, I'm not going to say outstrike because they have very different styles. I think Yair's going to kick a lot more. We all know that. And Brian's going to probably box a lot more. And I think in that first 2 rounds, something we saw in the Holloway fight is that Yair would throw like these high kicks and crazy techniques, and Max would just push him down when he was on 1 foot off balance. And we saw a similar thing happen in the Ortega versus Volkanovski fight, didn't we?
Yes, we did, and he snatched up that guillotine and could not get the finish, but we think he'll get one here.
I'm not saying it's going to be the same guillotine, but man, Yair puts all these crazy techniques out, and he can KO Brian. I mean, it could happen, but like...
I'm not seeing any KO happening here, dude. These guys are so durable, and...
I don't know, he throws head kicks, though. I'll let him put people out. But like with Brian, I think if Yair goes up on 1 foot, he should just push him. And he falls down so easily that he could just hop on a neck or even just, take rounds just by being on top. So, yeah, I'm thinking Brian by submission. Yair's got a decent game, but Brian's is just a different level.
I think Yair has a long neck too, which could play into that submission there.
He's kind of skinny. He is.
Yep. So Ortega by submission, round 3 is what I like. How about you?
Yeah, to work out something in the first 3 rounds, I would assume.
Yes, sir. Ortega, round 3 submission.
All right, guys, these have been our picks for UFC Fight Night Ortega versus Rodriguez. Check out those Instagram for all those bets. Like, subscribe, comment. You know, we're making a rise here. We're coming up with some other Chapter boys we're having some fun with. So check us all out and stay tuned for that bets video that will come on Wednesday or Thursday.
Yep, Wednesday or Thursday. This is in Long Island, New York, in the New York Islanders Arena, the UBS Arena. And looking forward to this one.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.